Is it okay now?
Yes, it's crystal clear. So, again, welcome back. I hope everything is good at your end.
Yeah, of course. Everything is fine. And how
Okay,
about you?
perfect. Everything is great. And my parents visited me this weekend, right? So, they left
Great.
just yesterday. So, even the weekend was quite eventful. Not that we went anywhere, it was just very relaxing at home, the whole family together. So, it was a
Definitely.
yeah. So, how did your weekend go? I hope it was relaxing or exciting, or what was the vibe?
It was pretty normal. Like a friends get together is the normal thing that we have
Mhm.
during weekends. So I enjoyed that.
Great. And on that note, I think we can start with today's lesson.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I was just saying that yesterday I had learner. It was a demo session. Okay. In that demo session, the learner came. He is an HR professional. He's like, I want to learn English, um, but I don't feel interested. Like, what is that? So I want to learn English, but I'm not interested. My grammar is not that great, but I don't want to learn grammar rules. I don't want to learn grammar. I'm like, you need to make your mind. Are you interested or are you not interested? What is going on? So how would you handle this
Okay.
situation? I mean, you're also a teacher. That is one situation which I felt really challenging. So I want to know from you, if you were in my place, what would you have said to that person?
Well, I feel that I'm in that place always because a few, I mean, a little of my learners whom I have under my guidance, they all feel the
Hmm.
same way. They are not interested at all. It seems that I am more interested, that I have to prove a point if I am good enough to make somebody learn or not. And that's why I keep trying different things with them. And somehow they have made a few, improvement, made lots of improvement, I would say. So
Okay.
from a place where they were unable to say any single line, they have reached to a place where they can express
Hmm.
on any topic,
Hmm.
though in broken English, but at least they try.
Hmm. Okay, okay. That's
So in those situations, I feel like if you are under my guidance
yeah.
for let's say half an hour a day,
Hmm.
somehow I would make you feel that how is it important, and I would make you interested to talk on different topics.
Hmm.
That is the list that I can do from my part. And unless the person is interested, like maybe after some days he will get that interest.
Yeah.
And
Right.
if he gets, it's okay. Otherwise, I don't think anything can be done for these people.
Yeah. I have so much respect for you, because if you deal with such people on a regular basis, but still you're able to see the silver lining there, that you have to prove yourself as a teacher. Trust me, my respect for you has shot through the roofs. It's not easy. It's easier said than done, um, because
Yeah.
you feel like as a teacher, you come with a lot of interest, you come with a lot of knowledge, but if the learner is having more attitude than the teacher, then it's very difficult to handle it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like uh, it's not about the attitude. Sometimes it's their mindset that okay, and because uh, I
Hmm.
have most of the learners under teenage groups,
Yeah.
so that is the age that they feel okay.
Hmm.
Why should I bother if
Hmm.
I'm, or maybe sometimes they are not interested. They are there because of some other pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe their guardian is sending them.
Hmm.
So sometimes that also happens. So I feel that okay, no matter what, if they are here, it's my duty to make them interested. And that's why I keep talking on different things, or I have included this in my answer so many times, that whenever they feel like not disinterested, I ask them questions related to their likings, their favorite sports, and suddenly they start answering, and in no time they see, I mean, they are unable to see that they get some interest. Okay, I have to frame sentences like this, or I have to speak this or use this word.
Yeah.
So in that way they have improved a little bit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Really good. Really good. I'm very happy to, hear that from you. Okay. So I wish more teachers had this kind of a positive mindset to make sure that every kind of learner learns from them. What is the age group of students that you teach English?
For the I mean, currently I have just two students.
Okay.
They both are waiting for their 12th results. I mean, not they were waiting. Now they have gotten their results, so they would be enrolling in graduation.
Okay, okay, okay. Good. They're pretty young. I think this is the perfect age for them to start learning English if they haven't already. Anything later than this would prove to be a bit of a challenge, I feel, because now
Definitely,
their only focus needs to be on studies and nothing else. Later, the pressure mounts up. You need to get a job, you need to crack the interview, but don't know English. Then that is a different headache.
definitely.
Okay, good. Since we
And
were,
I always give my own example.
yeah.
That look, at this age, I mean, I always feel that I have destroyed almost a decade of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So at this age, I should have been in my niche, but I'm still looking for that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm struggling to prove myself, or find my niche. Yet I'm practicing this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to reach up to that stage. You have to start early. This is also an example which I gave to them.
Okay. Trust me, you're not alone on this. This not being able to find your niche and experimenting with many things. Uh, I promise you, on the outside, it feels like everyone has it together, but very few of them do. Most people of our age, I think you and I are pretty much in the same age group. Most of us are in the same thing. Some days are great, we feel like, wow, I'm doing a pretty good job. On the other days, you're like, how did I reach here? Like, what went wrong? You start contemplating, you start retrospecting a lot. But I think it's a part and parcel, and just don't feel like you're alone. Okay, most of us are in the same boat, so it's fine.
Of course, definitely. That feeling should always be there, because if we can't feel like that, we will stop moving ahead,
Hmm.
or we will go in deep. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, what sometimes even the great uh, word that is depression.
Hmm.
That we can even go in depression if we do not cheer ourselves up
Yeah,
that way.
I agree. I completely agree. So do you feel like how to see getting out of that depressive state or getting out of that sad state? Everyone knows that they need to do it, but what do you think helps? You only motivating yourself or relying on external things like friends and family to maybe pull you out of it? What works better and faster?
Of course, if you have outside support, it will work better.
Hmm.
But even if you don't have that, you should never have the criticism,
Hmm.
because that would be worst scenario.
Hmm.
But at least if you are at equilibrium situation where nobody support you, but at the
Hmm.
same time nobody uh, criticize you as well,
Yeah.
even in that situation, you can pull yourself up
Hmm.
with a little bit of positivity
Yeah.
in you. That's what I feel.
Correct.
So the
Correct.
first situation is the best, where you have the outside support. But
Hmm.
if you don't have, pray that you are not being criticized by others.
Very well. I like how you added that bit of humor in this. It's great. And since we were earlier talking about idioms and proverbs, there is a quote that is said by that is said by a very famous person whose name I don't remember right now. But the quote is, "Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great." So that is it. Okay, don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the
Right,
great.
right.
So, if you can just explain it with an example, that would be great.
Uh, it simply means that you don't have to be worried about giving up something that you have right now
Hmm.
in order to achieve something great.
In order to achieve
So, for
something better.
example, yeah, for example, if I have a job with security,
Hmm.
I have a job where I have the job security
Hmm.
as well, but maybe I'm looking for something big, and there is an opportunity where I can try to prove myself.
Hmm.
So at that point of time, I should not think even for a second to give away or
Hmm.
give up my job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
and with this quote, I mean, since you are good in Hindi as well,
Mhm.
I wanted to share a few muhavras,
Okay.
and if you can explain those, like the pretty common one,
I'll
because
try my
like
best.
we were discussing last time that
Yeah.
we don't have topics to discuss the moment a learner asks these things. So
Hmm.
I came across another thing that okay, whenever we talk about such things, we can even discuss these things. Like if there is a muhavra called Adjal Gagri Chalkat Jaye. So
I
why
have,
not I try to explain the same in English. So do you
okay.
know the meaning of this?
No, can you come again?
Adjal Gagri Chalkat Jaye.
No, I don't. Trust me, if you
So if
hadn't
I
told me that
explain
it
it
is Hindi, I
literally,
wouldn't have known
yeah,
that it is Hindi.
okay. If I explain it literally, it
Mm-hmm.
simply means that half filled pot splashes more. The water in a half filled pot
Hmm.
splashes more than if it is
Full.
fully filled. Yeah, it is full.
Okay. Now I got the meaning.
So this is literal meaning, but what it means, as we all know, that idioms do not, cannot be, uh,
Do not have a
uh,
literal translation. It
do
has a
not have a
hidden.
literal translation and
Yeah.
cannot be deciphered literally.
Yes.
So, so the meaning of this idiom is
Hmm.
that those who do not have proper knowledge,
Hmm.
they show off more.
Yes. It's like in English, there is a proverb, right? Empty vessels make more noise. I think,
Yeah, same.
yeah,
Yeah, of course, this is the same one.
yes, yes.
Empty vessels. Empty vessels. So instead of empty, it is half filled.
Hmm.
Here in
The water
Hindi,
splashes
we
more in a half filled
translate it
pot.
like that.
Yeah. Good one. I think I agree with it. I have noticed, oh my goodness, people with the least amount of talent always have the most to say. They're always praising themselves as if they're, I don't know, they're planning to go to Mars or something. They're always boasting about themselves. They're always projecting themselves to be the busiest humans on the planet, putting down other people, being condescending. So these things are very normal. Whereas if a person is very mature, they speak less, but whatever they speak makes sense. So, what do you feel? Do you agree with it?
Definitely, definitely. I couldn't agree more on this. And another thing that is coming to my mind right now, that
Hmm.
Nach na jane angan tera. Have you heard this?
Yeah. It's like people
Sorry, I lost.
easily
Yeah,
point out. Yeah. Is it okay now? Can you hear me?
yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is okay now.
So
Go
it's
on.
basically, yeah, I think it means when a person is not very talented, instead of correcting their faults, they try to find fault in the external surroundings. So you don't know how to dance, but instead of focusing on
Yeah,
your practice,
definitely.
you blame the floor. You say that the floor stage is twisted
Yeah,
or inclined or something of that sort, right?
right. So this is what I was thinking, that it can be uh, recommended to even beginners, that if you have anything in particular, anything that you like the most, why not you try to speak that or express that in English. Even that would be a good practice session.
Of course. You remember, I think once a couple of months ago, you and I, we had this proverb explanation where we discussed a bunch of proverbs in English and you explained them really well in your own words. I think I remember that session and you did a really good job at that. A great
Yeah,
activity to try
of
with
course.
learn. Uh,
I recalled another quote that I wanted to share.
mhm.
Let me check. Yeah. The quote is like,
Hmm.
in law, a man is guilty when he violates the rights of others.
Hmm.
In ethics, he is guilty if only thinks of doing so.
Can you come again, please?
In law, a
Hmm.
man is guilty when he violates the rights of others.
Okay.
In, in ethics,
Hmm.
if he is guilty
Hmm.
if he only thinks of doing so.
Oh, wow, that's so deep. It's about owning up to your mistakes, more like self realization, right?
Self realization. No, no, it's not like that.
Uh-huh.
It is being said that in law, somebody is guilty if he does the crime. But in
Yes.
ethics, only if somebody thinks of doing so, he is guilty.
Oh, okay. If someone thinks of doing something wrong, then they're guilty in ethics.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So
So,
everything starts from the mind.
yeah, from this quote, what I wanted to ask
Yeah.
that whom would you like to be with in your surrounding, former or
Hmm.
latter?
In my surroundings.
Yeah.
Okay. There are, I think, a few people, two or three people that I can think of. One is, of course, my husband. He keeps me very grounded. So, probably number one. Okay.
Uh, I didn't get your answer. I
Can you
mean,
repeat
what I'm
the
trying to
question?
ask, what I'm
Yeah.
trying to ask, that
Uh-huh.
whom would you like to be in your surrounding? What kind of people? Like the way the quote says,
Yeah.
they have categorized people in two categories. One, who are criminals, who do something against law, and because of that they are guilty.
Ah.
On the other side, there
The
are some
ethical
people
people.
who does not have done any action,
Yeah.
but they constantly think of doing something wrong. So whom would you like to be with? Like we play that game. Would you rather?
Okay, so out of these two category, you're talking
Yeah.
specifically. Okay, so I
Yeah,
think
right.
both categories are like extremely dangerous. I wouldn't want to be with either of them, but if I have to choose one, the second category, I want to know these people just think about negative things. They don't do it, or do they act
Yeah.
on it?
Maybe they are not doing because of fear of criticism, or maybe for some other reasons, but they constantly think
I would rather go with the second category because at the end of the day, whatever mischief they're thinking of, it's just limited to the boundary of their
their
mind,
thoughts.
right? It is not manifesting in reality. But
Right.
if I'm with someone who's an actual criminal, there's a danger to my life and of those around me. So definitely the latter. I'll go
Yeah.
with.
What I was trying to discuss on this front is,
Yeah.
I think the second one is more dangerous because most of the crime
Mm-hmm.
is planned or designed by these people, and sometimes the actual criminals become scapegoat. They are doing the activities only because of some pressure, or maybe because of some compulsion sometime as well. But
Hmm.
the actual people or mind who are like the mastermind of all these crimes belongs, or maybe takes birth from these people
Hmm.
whose mind is dangerous. They constantly think about criminal activities.
Yeah, they think as I told you, right, both categories are horrible, but the chances that you will be safer with the second category because, as I mentioned, they make others do things. Correct?
Yeah, I got your
Yeah.
point. What I'm trying to say,
Mhm.
that I'm trying to add another level of discussion
I completely
here.
agree with you.
Like we say that
Yeah.
criminals are not born. They
Yes.
are,
Yeah.
I mean, they do all these things out of compulsion because someone else who is masterminding, they are creating these criminals. I was
Yes.
talking about that topic in
Absolutely.
that context. Yes.
Absolutely. they say that criminals are created by the system. So as you correctly mentioned, there are some people who are, pulling the strings, who are making these things happen because they have money, they have power, so other people are just pawns to execute their plans.
Right, of course. And whatever you said, that was also uh, relatable,
Yeah.
because if maybe somebody is thinking about that, okay, I have to rob
Hmm.
her house, and somebody is actually robbing, then whom would you be like to be with? Somebody who thinks but who does not have that courage to
Yeah.
do the action, for
Yeah.
sure.
Good one. See, this is the beauty of such questions, it allows people to share their perspective, and at the end of the day, when you listen to each person, it feels correct, huh? This is also right, that is also right. So it is
Yeah,
all about perspective. I like such subjective questions. It's interesting to get to know people, their minds.
definitely.
Yeah. Perfect, great. So, how much do you rely on these kind of quotes and proverbs, etc., to go about your day for your motivation or for understanding human psychology? How much do you rely on these things?
Well, I don't think I rely on these things at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that sometimes it happens to be true that whatever is being said, I can feel that, okay, I have already experienced this in my life. So it happens that way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I like reading them. But as far as relying on these things is concerned, I don't. And
Okay.
maybe uh, I would just try to recall something, to remind you something that we had discussed last time,
Mm-hmm.
about motivational books or self-help improvement books,
Yeah.
that most of the things written there is quite common,
Yeah.
that we can sense that as well. Sometimes whenever we read, we feel that, okay, I already know all these things. What to do now? How to do is the most important question, not
Correct.
what to do.
Yes. Yes. In one of the motivational videos in the comment section, I read a comment that everyone knows these things, what to do with your life, how to improve your life. Everyone knows the theoretical aspect, but not everyone can act on it. It is the implementation which is a challenge, not the knowledge.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I can safely say that if someone tells us to write a motivational book or a self help book, we will all do a pretty good job. What habits to employ? But the thing is, how many of us are actually following that advice in our daily lives, right? So that is the challenge.
Right, right.
Okay, perfect. Very well. I think this has been a great, great conversation. Loved getting to know your viewpoints on such tricky matters. Always a pleasure talking to you. Your vocabulary, grammar. Today, just a small thing I would like to tell you. This phrase that you used to get wrong earlier. I think today you used it once or twice, and you used it really well. So, all the past errors which ever existed, I feel like you've overcome them, and you did a very good job. Another thing that I really liked about today is you kind of drove the conversation to where it is today, right? To how it ended.
Right,
Right from suggesting the topic to asking me questions to uh, adding more, like acknowledging my answers and adding your viewpoints, right? So you were
right,
doing both of that. So it literally felt like a conversation and not like a Q&A where you're just asking.
right, right,
So I think you've nailed that art of conversation. So great balance between the questions, answers, and your comments. So really good balance.
I would like to share one more point on this,
Sure.
that even earlier I wanted to start conversation this way,
Hmm.
but like I have always maintained
Hmm.
uh, this idea that I'm here as a learner.
Hmm.
So I'm here to speak more, learn more.
Hmm.
This is what I used to think earlier.
Hmm.
So if I start asking question, you would be answering. So
Hmm.
where would my practice be? And because of that, I never took the initiative. But now I have gotten to know that, okay, this is also part of my practice. Because I'm
Yes.
trying to become a tutor, there is also a type of practice for me. So why not
Exactly.
express or practice on this as well. So
Absolutely.
I have become more confident or comfortable maybe, but only with selected tutors.
Mm.
You are one of them.
And I think after the two role play rounds that we had, where you were the teacher and I was the student, I think did that kind of uh, trigger or stimulate this, that okay, no, I can also ask questions as well as answer. Did that play a role?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because if that technique worked, then I can surely implement it with more learners. So it's like I want a genuine feedback. So that's the reason.
Definitely, that's what I was saying. That
Okay.
earlier I used to feel that,
Mm,
and whenever I used to get different feedbacks,
mm,
sometimes I would feel that okay, I can work on all this, but
mm,
maybe something would trigger that okay, so many things are going in my head because of my current situation, and I would not be able to come up out of that comfort zone because
mm,
of some reasons or other, and
mm.
because of that I was not able to express myself well. But having said that, all the supports from you guys finally helped me to reach at a certain level from where I can express this way as well. So
Absolutely.
credit to you and other tutors as well.
That's so sweet of you. I think you're one of the most consistent and the most dedicated learners. On good days and on bad days, you push yourself to do what you need to do. Right? I think that's very commendable. It's very easy to be like, I'm not feeling up to it, and you don't turn up for your sessions because you're not a beginner. So even though you miss one or two sessions, it's not going to make a big difference to you. But still, you show up, you participate, you work on whatever is being told, and you also have so much knowledge when you share vocabulary, share grammar tips. Even we are enriching our knowledge with that, right? So thank you so much for all the efforts that you put, and I look forward to our next session with each other. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
So
Uh,
on that note,
yeah.
have a nice day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. And until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a great day.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.